Hey everyone, welcome back to Jurassic World Evolution. This is part 3 of our challenge mode playthrough on Jurassic difficulty for Isla Muerta. We are picking up right where we left off after part 2. So let's see. I haven't played this in a little while. But it looks like we just have these two enclosures here and a couple of contracts. Check on big teams here. So I don't know how much y'all keep up with the news surrounding this game, but there's actually been a lot of really promising announcements concerning the summer update for this game. So far they've talked about a lot of stuff that is all free. I don't know if there's going to be free and paid DLC, but we'll talk about that during this playthrough. All of it seems really neat so far, so I'm pleasantly surprised with how much stuff they're adding, and apparently a lot of it is going to be free, if not all of it. So anyway, let's see our fossils here. Plenty of minerals. Am I researching dig yield? Yes. Have not researched any medical treatments, so hopefully we'll be okay with that. So in this episode, my goal is I want to get dig yield researched, and I'd like to, if possible, I'd like to figure out how to maximize my building space over here, which is probably going to involve demolishing a lot of this stuff. And the same thing honestly goes for this over here. I didn't really realize how big of a issue the terrain was going to be on this island. But one thing I'm gonna do for now is, because another thing I want to do is get the second hatchery going over here. That opens up into at least 2 enclosures, maybe even 3 enclosures, possibly. Just got a contract done, thankfully. Alright, let's grab a science. Alright, we can handle that. I'll just send another one to the Zilu Jing for me. Sell Huangosaurus with 21 defense. Let's see if we can. Genome is at 92%, so if we get it to 100, it might be 21 defense, so I'm gonna hold off on that. Release dinosaurs. I'll hold off on that one for now. So one of the things that we're going to be able to do, which is very exciting, is there's going to be a paintbrush tool that basically lets us paint the ground to look like sand or rocks or stuff like this. Combat victories. I guess some islands are going, not all the islands are going to have the sandy feature, but like this would obviously be one of them. They said that it, like, they would only let there be sand on the islands that it would make sense for there to be sand, and like Isla Muerta would be one of them. Okay. Combat victories. We're gonna see if we can pass on that one. Big penalty, of course, but hopefully it'll be worth it to just skip that one. That's another pretty lame one. Get rid of that one too. Dinosaur hunting, we don't have a carnivore. Get rid of that one too, because we're honestly nowhere close to output 1.0 to small power station. Right, we can handle that because that's something we're gonna want to research. Right, gonna stack these up. And let's send out another. So let's see here. What I want to figure out is what do I want to do about rebuilding this area, I guess. I feel like it's too soon. We kind of need to get to a point where we have enough money on the bank before I just go tearing all this down and rebuilding it. And I'm probably going to need to build an additional small power station somewhere. But I have ideas for that. Let's, right, that should get Huayangosaurus to 100, which is good. We'll keep going here for now. Just to mix it up a little, I'm going to change this to the day-night cycle for a little while anyway. I kind of like having this one on the dusk setting personally, just because that's what this, I don't know, it's neat to see the island in a different light because you played through it on the dusk setting, so it's neat to see what it looks like in the other times of the day. Alright, so let's see if this idea of mine works. The idea is that, you know, it's pretty obvious. I'm trying to make it, we're gonna have like a level up here where I can have like a monorail station and a couple other key buildings. And then there's gonna be like this big drop off, which eventually I'll just get rid of the path altogether. And then it'll be another flattened area down here. That's what my idea is. We're gonna See, this is so steep that it won't let me flatten it. Which is interesting. I mean, I have an area this big and a little bit of room over here to work with. But it's so steep that it won't let me flatten any more than this. So what I can do is I can take like a middle ground approach. Start it about here. So it's a little bit more tolerable, or it's a little bit more in between, I guess. But I don't know, it might just be better to leave it the way it was. Because I have enough room to build what I need to build up here. So we're just gonna leave it like this for now, I guess. Not exactly what I wanted, but I think this will work. Move this out. The goal is that eventually, so what I want to eventually have is this area will be like, there will be like a welcome area with a monorail station, and then this path will be gone because like it's like pretty steep, which it looks cool, but not really practicable. I mean, even though it's just a video game and it doesn't matter. But there will be a monorail here that will go this way to this area of the island, and it will go down here and drop them off down here for this area of the island, and then it will also take them over here to this area of the island as well. That's the quick version, I guess. Now the real question is, see what fossils we got first. I need to start researching these guys. I don't have, I think I'm safe because I don't think any of these guys are susceptible to unique diseases. Okay, Triceratops is susceptible to hookworms. We'll do that one first. I'm pretty sure Struthiomimus and Edmontosaurus are... Oh, and I already did hookworms. We'll do bracken poisoning next. Pretty sure that's what Huangosaurus is susceptible to. Speaking of Huangosaurus, let's see if we can... Defense of 21. The viability is 99%. Are you kidding? We're off by 1%. A little bit annoying. We didn't get any minerals from that dig either. But we can get that output 1.0 up contract done, so I'm going to do that. And I'm going to remove it really quick because we don't need it, and I don't have any outage protection right now, so hopefully we can get a contract that is not terrible and not have to go through 5 of them first. Alright, good, that one's... Alright, so the first thing that I want to do is... You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get that release 3 dinosaurs out of the way. I'm going to release 3 Struthiomimuses. I'm just going to put them in with the Triceratops for now. Just to get that one done and out of the way. Got some minerals. Hopefully, our research is done. Oops, not that one. This exhibit over here is pretty crowded with Struthiomimus already, so I figured I'll just put them in with the Triceratops for now. Just to get that contract out of the... Because like I said in the last episode, I'm trying to use more efficient exhibits instead of necessarily trying to make this super creative artsy park, I guess. So this is going to be the Ceratopsid exhibit. This is going to be kind of the I don't know what we're gonna, I mean, for now it's just Struthiomimus, Edmontosaurus, Corythosaurus, and then we might add like Maiasaura or something. And then over here we're going to have Ceratosaurus and Dilophosaurus, and then we're going to have Chunkingosaurus and Huayangosaurus, and then we'll have another one over here, hopefully, that will be like a Dracorex and Ankylosaurus exhibit. Right, so cool, we got that one done. All herbivore, okay. This is interesting. I feel like I have the day-night cycle on, and is the day-night cycle different on this island? Because I don't remember the sliding. Maybe that's just me. More minerals. Alright, so anyway. Let's head up here. The whole reason I did this is because I need an additional power station while I work on demolishing and modeling the rest of that stuff over there. Let's see, will it fit here, or is this too... Terrain constraints are too... So... I'm curious if there's even going to be enough room for said monorail station. I kind of have a bad feeling not be. I kind of am getting the feeling that I need to combat victories again. That one's fine, this one's a no. This one's fine. More Chunkingosaurus and no Huayangosaurus. Island rating of 2 stars. That's a no. A no. That one's a little bit more doable, I guess. Alright, so what I'm gonna do, this is kind of some, I'm not like, this isn't a proven idea, but what you can kind of see is, well, I'll keep it in this mode. There's basically, I tried to flatten all this out around the park entrance, which sounds like a good idea, but as you can see, it like dips off severely to the sides, and that basically really, that this whole area, I can't build up to the edge with buildings, it limits me. So if I take the flattening tool and I hold it down right here instead, everything, I'll be able to build all the way to the corners because it's flattened there. The only thing I'll need to do is, well, the entrance will kind of look like this high up mound, but that's okay. We can deal with that. We can make that look nice. For the record, too, as far as Jurassic difficulty challenge modes go, you really don't need to do this stuff. I just, I like to play with the terrain tools. I think they give you a little bit more freedom than it's given credit for, even though it still is annoying sometimes. So, and plus there's, there is a factor of trying to maintain the right amount of space. So like, look at how much more room I have now than I had before. So, heal this dino real quick though. One thing too to kind of take a gander at is, so supposedly, I didn't really notice this, but I mean, it is true, they have pictures, and it's a little bit more, once you know that it exists, it's more noticeable. But one of the other things they're adding is the ability to add all of the different shrubbery from the different islands. I guess each island has a different shrub. This island is actually one of the most unique of all of them. And so we'll take a closer look at that later, but wait. I hate when they run. Well, if we had a building damage, then it's probably not a tornado. Alright, I think we're okay for now. Still no Huangosaurus. And our building is damaged, so we can't send out another team. Should be able to turn this on though, since that's turned off, and I can add tasks. There we go, so we'll do that first. Alright, so anyway, I know it's nighttime and it's raining, but I think it's pretty clear that I now have a much larger area to build, and in theory I should be able to build all the way into the corner. Well, not all the way, but well, maybe that was incorrect. See, like, I bet I feel silly now. Maybe I can build all the way into this corner, but not all the way into that corner. Yeah, see how much closer I can get to the edge? But this bit corner not so much, because the island, it like still dips off. I don't know. It's just an idea. I hope it makes sense, but I mean, apparently it's not nearly as helpful as I thought it would be. We'll leave the hatchery without power for right now, because we don't really need it. Okay. So anyway, let's head over here. We're going to grab the smooth button so that this doesn't look nearly as silly. It still looks a little bit silly. About now. Did that, now let's smooth out these edges. Alright, that looks a little better, I think. Alright, power station please. Oh, I definitely have enough room for a power station and the monorail now, so at least there's that. Let's see, where's our nearest? Alright, there we go. Cell Huangosaurus with 21 defense. Alright. Oh, this is 99% viability. Hopefully that does not fail. And then I will manually tranquilize it. That contract done and out of... Let's get our last medical treatment. I apologize, I feel like the first two episodes we actually made some really fast progress compared to how a lot of my other playthroughs go, and I feel like we've kind of come to a grinding halt, mainly because I'm trying to deal with the terrain issues by this island, and it's a little bit more of a deal than I thought it would be. Anyway, what my next step is I believe I'm going to demolish all of this, and I'm going to take the flattening tool and rebuild it. Hopefully so that the buildings can all fit where they need to be. Well, we're gonna get 2 contracts done. And I just remembered that I demolished my ACU station for that in exchange for research park. So We're just gonna put the Huangosaurus in here, and we will sell it later. Okay, cool. We're gonna get 100% of that at least. And now we're gonna send a team here. Hopefully that will give us lots of minerals, because I don't believe we've gone to that site yet. Forest wants a little bit more forest. Still not enough. How about now? Alright, that's good. Income per minute. We're actually fairly close to that one. Didn't we just get Huangosaurus to 100%? We could just have our second Huangosaurus, and that might get us over the bump. Oh, it's not, I thought it was 22k, not 25. Ooh, good, we got 2 big chunky minerals. Alright, so we are going to start with demolishing all these things. Take all these off and get the money back from them. And we're just going to get rid of all this stuff. Let me create an additional thing to connect these here so the power doesn't go out. Okay, so at least this guy. Okay, we got the visitor count done from it at least. We did get a contract done out of that. Genome to 60%, we can handle that one. Once we reconstruct all the buildings, that is. We are going to get rid of that income per minute one, though. Grab a sign. Debate a carnivore. Go. Yeah, we have the day-night cycle on. The daytime look for this map is clearly different than the other ones. The defaults to like the dusk setting for the daytime. Kinda interesting. Okay. There's still guests migrating to the path over there. Alright, so let's get rid of all these trees first so we can see what we're doing. So very similar to the last situation, we want to strike a balance where the terrain is not severely limiting what we can and can't build. So the downside to that is if we grab this and flatten it out over to here, it's going to be really awful for this. So I do have an idea. I'm thinking of, and I have an idea, but I don't know if it's gonna work. We're just gonna have to see. As you can see, this is not cheap, and like I said, I could have just left it the way it was. There was nothing wrong with that. It wouldn't have been nearly as... Hopefully this will be more efficient when it's all said and done. But there would have been nothing wrong with just leaving it the way it was. Anyway, my idea is to basically do half and half. We can have half of the buildings up on here and half the buildings down here. Hopefully the areas will be big enough to handle it. We'll just have to see. If that idea works or not. And we'll just kind of have a path going right down the middle. Makes sense on paper. Let's see if it works in practice. So the first thing I want is a ranger station. Terrain constraints are still an issue, but can we fit it this way? Any sense, or is it gonna make us do it that way? Outside buildable area. I disagree. Okay, that looks like it could work. So we'll remember that. Let's see if our other buildings will fit up here, or if I need to stretch it out more. This one still has terrain constraints. So it looks to me like I need to stretch this out a little more. And that looks kind of cool, actually. It almost looks like it's built on purpose to help with, like, water flow or something. Alright, let's see if our ranger station still fits where I wanted it. It'll still fit here. Not exactly. check our other buildings. Is there enough room up here for these guys now? Fossil Center, yes. Church Center. I know that this is I'm really kind of eyeballing it. I understand. Alright, so I have enough room for those three up there. So I feel like we're onto something here. So I literally can't tell where I'm building this all because of the lighting, right? Try to put it as in the middle as I can. That looks agreeable. Alright, Ranger Station first. The idea of this too, by the way, is that, you know, if you all are using this as a guide of sorts, that you all can just do this from the start and not have to endure the rebuilding stuff that I'm having to do. Alright, so that one's set. Let's grab our Expedition Center next. Fit one of these down here, that would be really nice. Maybe we can fit the Fossil Center down here. That one's kind of the smallest building. It looks like we might be able to fit it. That's probably as good as we can ask for. Hopefully when I put this down it doesn't completely screw up the hillside over there. Scoot it any more this way. It doesn't look like it messed up the hillside too much. Alright, and so we want an Expedition Center next. So far this is, you know, working surprisingly okay. I was kind of expecting this idea to just fall flat on its face. So let's work on getting a path set up here. Looks like there's slightly more room up here for the path. So that is where we're going to build it. I had a feeling that was gonna pop up soon. reconnect these guys right here. Alright, we're making progress. It'll be a very steep slope, but it'll get the job done, I guess. Okay, and now we need to connect to this guy. Let's power this guy off temporarily. We will send our team to build these. Okay, so there we go. I mean, I think it looks a little better, but if you guys looked at that and said this looks worse than before, or it looks no better, then it would be hard for me to argue my case, I guess, because I do agree it doesn't look significantly better. I will say, though, that I am able to fit everything in this one substation, so that has to count for something. Power station isn't in the substation, but the power station doesn't need to be, so there is that. So right, now that this is all constructed, we're going to see if we can move out any of this whatsoever to make it look a little bit more natural. Which, surprisingly, we just did. It really doesn't look all that bad now. Who was sick? Researched that stuff, because I'm pretty sure that was the bracken poisoning right there. Alright, so I'm gonna turn these guys off, as well as this guy. Ranger. We'll turn our Hammond lab back on. And let's get back to doing contracts. Alright. It asked for something to get to 60%. What would that be? That was close. Is it? I think it's Draco Rex that we had that was close. Successfully incubate a carnivore. I do believe our time for Ceratosaurus has arrived. We're just going to do a basic 100% genome and storm shelters on. I have a feeling this may be our first twister. Yes. Let's take a second to get a nice capture mode moment. Y'all don't mind. have any danger, dino threat icons, so the fences that we repaired, and we didn't see any dinos escaping from them. So I'm thinking we're okay. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get to all of these power lines. I might need to take down some trees to do that. Wow, this thing it had to hit me. I'm gonna have to deforest a little bit to reach these guys, I think. One thing that will be interesting is to see if one ranger station is going to be enough for this island. It probably will, as long as I have multiple jeeps. Okay, so nothing too bad for our first storm, or, well, second storm, third storm, but first tornado. Nothing escaped, everything is in its correct place. So we are all good there. We're coming up on almost an hour, so I'm gonna call this episode 3 complete. I apologize that we really didn't make that much progress, but I do feel like this is going to serve us much better, and I just think this looks nicer, especially now that we smoothed that out. And we also have a lot more room to work with over here as well. So this was kind of a remodeling episode, as well as enduring our first twister, and we did add some Huayngosauruses as well. So I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.